is the first video in an extension of the Kentucky High School Wrestling State Championship Review Series. This will be the first video of the Top 14 Countdown. That's right, Top 14. We're not just going to do a Top 10 because you gotta feel all 14 weight classes. During my time as a referee and throughout the production of the State Championship Review Series, there's been several discussion topics that keep coming up. Who was the best this? Who was the best that? Who was this? Who was that? Who was your top this? Who was your top that? With this Top 14 series, we're going to look at some of those discussion topics and give you my opinion on who the top 14 for each of these discussion topics are. In this first video, we're going to look at the top 14 most physically dominant wrestlers in Kentucky history. And before we start, we need to clarify a few things. When I say physically dominant, I'm talking pure brute strength. Not who was the most physically dominant on takedowns, physically dominant on top, physically dominant for pin and combinations, as those will be their own videos in due time. This video, we're going to look at who was the most physically dominant wrestlers with brute strength. And for somebody to be eligible for the Top 14 Countdown Series, they must have A, attended a Kentucky school, and B, and they must have graduated as of the production date of the video. Now, without further ado, let's meet the top 14 most physically dominant wrestlers in Kentucky history, in my opinion. Starting off, representing Fern Creek, Gabby Wilson. Gabby is the 2024 KHSAA Girls Heavyweight State Wrestling Champion. And let's face it, that was her division. Everybody in the building knew, and everybody across the state knew, Gabby Wilson was the best heavyweight, and there was nobody close. Before she won the KHSAA State Championship, Gabby was a three-time Coaches Association in 2021, 2022, and 2023. Gabby won all three of her state tournament bouts by fall in the first period, with her state finals match ending in 38 seconds. I feel pretty confident saying that every girls heavyweight state champion from this point forward will be compared to Gabby and her physical domination. Representing Johnson Central, J.J. Jude. JJ is a two-time state wrestling champion, 2011 and 2012. In the 2011 171-pound state tournament and the 2012 170-pound state tournament, JJ rushed his way through the opponents like he did on the football field. JJ holds the KHSAA record for career rushing yards with 8,633, and he also holds the single game rushing record with 584 yards against Woodford County in 2010. Being a protege of legendary coach Jim Matney, JJ had elite wrestling technique, but it wasn't needed with his absolute physical brute strength he brought to the football field and to the mat. Representing Wayne County, Travis Sullivan. Travis is a three-time state champion, 2005, 2006, and 2007. Travis, in 2005, won the most pins in the least amount of time, all 5 pins with a total of 7 minutes and 47 seconds. He won his state finals bout in 2005 with a fall in 58 seconds. In 2007, Travis won the quickest pin of the entire state tournament in 7 seconds. Winning his state championships at the 103 and 112 pound weight class respectively, Travis truly was one of the most physically dominant wrestlers in the state during his period, pound for pound. Representing St. Xavier High School, Carter Gilliam. Carter is a two-time KHSAA heavyweight state champion, 2023 and 2024. Carter was an absolute weight room animal, and it showed on the football field and the mats. Representing Simon Kenton High School, Casey Cornett. Casey is a two-time state wrestling champion, 2016 and 2017. And in 2017, Casey was selected as the most outstanding wrestler of the state tournament. In Casey's 2017 state finals bout, he won by fall in 1 minute 21 seconds over Joe Jackson of Johnson Central. Joe was selected MVP of the 4A state championship game a few months prior. Casey truly was a man among boys in the 2017 state tournament. Representing Caldwell County, David Richie. David is a three-time state champion, 1984, 1985, and 1986. In 1986, David was selected as the state tournament's most outstanding wrestler. To this day, David is still considered one of the best pound-for-pound wrestlers the state of Kentucky has ever seen, with his career in high school and his career wrestling for the United States Army. David's headlocks and throws land him on this list as being one of the most physically dominant wrestlers in Kentucky history, winning his 84, 85, and 86 finals by falls in impressive fashion with no remorse. Representing Lafayette High School, Landon Young. An all-state football player, a multiple-time track and field state champion for shot put and discus, and the 2016 heavyweight state champion, Landon Young done it all for Lafayette. Going on to the University of Kentucky, earning all-conference offensive lineman honors, and being drafted in the NFL by the New Orleans Saints and is currently on an active roster, Landon Young truly is one of the most physically dominant athletes, and specifically one of the most physically dominant wrestlers Kentucky has ever seen. Now that we're halfway through our list, entries number 7 through 2, I couldn't rank. So I'm just going to throw them out there in random order, and you can put them however you feel. Representing Dixie Heights, Brandon Johnson. Brandon is a two-time heavyweight state champion, 2014 and 2015. In 2014, Brandon won all 5 bouts by fall in a total of 2 minutes and 51 seconds. What's incredible about that stat is in the 2014 state tournament, Brandon did not wrestle any match longer than a minute. His falls go as follows. First round, 30 seconds. Second round, 20 seconds. Quarterfinals, 22 seconds. Semifinals, 43 seconds. And his championship bout, 56 seconds. In 2015, Brandon also won the most pins in the least amount of time, 5 pins in 6 minutes and 16 seconds, with his state championship bout ending in 46 seconds. Brandon truly is one of the most physically dominant wrestlers the state of Kentucky has ever seen. Representing St. Xavier High School, Tendai Tienda. Tendai is a 3-time state champion, 1994, 1995, and 1996 for the Tigers. Whatever analogy you want to use about Tendai, a wrecking ball, an anvil, it was like trying to wrestle a fire hydrant. Tendai was absolutely physically dominating against all 3 opponents in the state finals. In 1996, Tendai wins the state championship as his opponent is unable to continue due to an injury default. This is another example of Tendai's absolute physical domination and brutality in the 1996 season. Representing Union County, George King. George is the 2000 171-pound state champion. George was also awarded the most outstanding wrestler of the state tournament. George also won the quickest pin with 21 seconds and the most pins in the least amount of time. 4 pins in 3 minutes and 40 seconds. In his state finals bout, George wins by fall in 49 seconds. Although he may not have been the best dancer, George King's 2000 state tournament is still used as a measuring stick for the 170-pound or thereabouts weight class for everybody that has come after him and his level of domination. Representing Campbell County, Austin Meyers. Austin is a 4-time state champion at the 220-pound weight class, 2012, 2013, 2014, and 2015. Austin holds an undefeated record during his 4 years at Campbell County in high school competition. In 2015, Austin was selected as the state tournament's most outstanding wrestler. All 20 of Austin State Tournament bouts were absolute clinics on physical domination. Representing Sheldon Clark High School, Bruce Stepp. Bruce is a 3-time state champion, 1992 and 1993, 189 pounds, and 1994 at the heavyweight class. In 1994, Bruce was selected as the most outstanding wrestler, and he also won the most pins in the least amount of time. Over 30 years after Bruce's state tournament in 1994, Bruce is still considered one of the best Kentucky wrestlers and one of the best, if not the best, heavyweight wrestler Kentucky has ever seen. Representing Lawrence County, Jacob and Jarius Merton. Jacob and Jarius moved to Kentucky in 2004 and took the state by storm. In 2004, Jacob and Jarius both won their individual weight classes, with Jacob being selected as the 2004 most outstanding wrestler. In 2005, again, Jacob and Jarius both won their individual weight class at the state championship. Jacob had one more year in 2006, and he done it again, becoming a 3-time state champion and was also selected as the most outstanding wrestler. And in my opinion, Jacob has the most impressive win of any Kentucky high school wrestler ever, as he holds a win over Jordan Burroughs at the 2005 Beast of the East tournament. Although Jacob and Jarius both had absolute phenomenal technique, their sheer brutality, and physical domination was unmatched and was unlike the state of Kentucky had ever seen up to that point. And now it's time to unveil my number one pick for the most physically dominant wrestler in Kentucky history, and it should come as no surprise. Representing Hopkinsville High School, Miguel Merritt. Miguel is a two-time KHSAA state wrestling champion, 1995 and 1996. And in 1995, Miguel was selected as the most outstanding wrestler of the state tournament. Miguel's absolute domination in the state finals will give you a concussion just by watching it. During his time at Hopkinsville, Miguel was also in the running for Mr. Football. After his time in Hopkinsville, Miguel continued his athletic dominance as he was a starting linebacker for the University of Alabama and was a captain against Tom Brady's Michigan team in the 2000 Orange Bowl, causing a fumble on the goal line. In my opinion, Miguel Merritt is without question the most physically dominant wrestler the state of Kentucky has ever seen. And there it is. That is my top 14 most physically dominant wrestlers in Kentucky history. Tell me how right I am or how wrong I am in the comments below. And if you have a suggestion for a top 14 discussion topic, leave it in the comments. Thank you all for watching. We will see you guys and girls on the mat.